In a time of increasing chaos in the galaxy, divided Imperial forces contend ferociously for control of the Empire. The Rebel Alliance is quick to take advantage of the upheaval, spreading the cry of rebellion far and wide and inflicting stinging blows against the feuding Imperials. At the height of the growing anarchy, a captured Star Destroyer piloted by Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, and Wedge Antilles is shot down over the Imperial city. In an attempt to rescue their fallen comrades, Princess Leia and Han Solo, together with Wookiee Chewbacca and Protocol Droid C-3PO, fly the Millennium Falcon into the heart of the conflagration. But Skywalker, now a Jedi of the highest order, refuses to be saved. Instead, he chooses to face a mysterious energy storm that sweeps him, along with R2-D2, towards certain destruction. Meanwhile, at a secret rebel base, Alliance leader Mon Mothma receives disturbing information. A dark side power has emerged from hiding, reunifying the feuding Imperials and gathering the technological might of the Empire for a major assault on the worlds of the Rebellion. I have no idea why I just did that, but deal with it. Hey people, it's Carl, once again, here with the second issue of Dark Empire #1. Now, as we saw with the first Dark Empire issue, weird things are afoot, and as the text crawl said, Luke Skywalker was on Coruscant, inside Imperial City, apparently, having just visited the Imperial Palace, and now looks all weird, wearing this dark robes, and seeming odd to Leia. I didn't bring that up last time, but apparently Leia was scared of Luke when they met on Coruscant. And, oh, a giant force storm just came out of nowhere after picking all the fledgling rebels that were on the Star Destroyer they piloted onto Coruscant. And it ate Luke and R2 up into the void, and everyone else got on the Millennium Falcon and took off. I can only presume a lot of people are dead. And now Mon Mothma hears of craziness going on in the middle of the galaxy. It's real cool. Fucking, Mon Mothma, the greatest there ever was. So interested to see what the hell she has to say about anything. Oh my god. Anyway, we will continue now. The fifth moon of Dasucha, an uncharted world in the Syak system, where a captured Star Destroyer renamed Emancipator orbits with the fleet of the Rebel Alliance. Because Admiral Akbar thought renaming the Star Destroyer Proclamator might have been a little too on the nose.
I'll have the calamari.
Well, I guess I'll have the insensitive bitch with a side of you.
Okay, enough of that silliness. So, apparently, the Rebel fleet returns from a reconnaissance mission in the innermost regions of the galaxy, so, the deep core. And we see Mon Mothma talking to Admiral Akbar. Akbar saying he saw both sides of the Civil War, they call it, both sides, both fleets, heading into the deep core, where apparently it's uninhabited, which, doesn't make sense to us now in hindsight, since we know the deep core in Star Wars at least has lots of inhabited places on it, but whatever. Moving on to the next page, we get a nice close-up money shot of Akbar looking fishy as ever. He portends that the Civil War will be nothing but trouble for the overall galaxy and that he fears for the future. Then he asks if there's any word from Luke, to which Mon Mothma says, yes, but nothing in the realm of good news. She quickly states how a Star Destroyer went down into the Imperial City with Generals Antilles and Calrissian, because I guess they're generals at this point. That makes sense, but I just really didn't bring it up last time. And I distinctly recall not seeing Wedge mentioned at all in the last comic, but who knows, maybe I'm just an idiot. Either way, Mon says that Leia and Han went to go look, but have maintained radio silence, to which Akbar just says, hey, here's some good news, the Falcon just arrived, so whoop-de-dee. Saying this, Akbar and the other rebel commanders decide to take shuttles down to the moon and head for Pinnacle Base, and meet with those aboard the Falcon. We get a nice view of the locals, known as Ixils. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, though I could be wrong. They don't look it, but they're actually a sentient race and have their own feudal society, though they're generally peaceful, even having a proficiency in making ornaments and bags, as well as grenades. Buy our well-furnished bags and ornaments, it'll brighten your day, or buy a grenade and blow shit up, apparently is their lifestyle. As we see, the moon is covered in weird rock formations and canyons, one of which the rebels have dug into to create this quote-unquote pinnacle base. Mon Mothma, along with the older generals Crix Madine and John, or Jan if you prefer, Dodana, meet with those coming off the Falcon as they land. Mon is pleased that they return, but asks where Luke is, which Leia says he's gone, and he let the dark side take him. I mean, I would have said, oh, hey, I saw a giant space tornado slurp him into the ether, but hey, the dark side taking him away works too in a vague way. So upon hearing this, Mon calls for an emergency meeting of the commanders, and they begin discussing the relevant connection between the storm that took Luke away, along with the previously mentioned Imperial force gathering in the deep core. One of the rebel commanders, I really don't know who this is supposed to be, but roll with it, also states that they believe a dark side genius is behind all of this, making me wonder what a dark side genius is as opposed to a dark side dumbass, but...
Any other stupid questions?
Don't you just hate how the sand on Korriban gets in everything?
You are begging for death, slave.
Moving on. Either way, they bring up the fact that some of their pros have spotted new weapons of war they believed are linked to the dark side itself, traveling to rebel sympathetic worlds and causing devastation. Ooh, scary. But unless it's a giant planet-killing planet that eats stars for energy, I think we'll be okay, guys. I mean, you're probably overreacting, as usual. Nonetheless, we see a shot being apparently transmitted live from the Mon Calamari home planet of Mon Calamari. Or DAC, if you prefer it. I really don't care. The naming convention for their home has always been off. It's either Mon Calamari or DAC. Sources can't seem to agree on which one, so, whatever. Showing the new Imperial weapons making a move on the Mon Calamari. We even get a little tidbit of info from the speech box, or maybe it's supposed to be one of the rebel commanders. I'm not sure. It's not very clear. Informs us that the Death Star had Mon Calamari at the top of the list of worlds to be annihilated for the rebel sympathies and attitudes. Though to be fair, maybe Palpy just had a fish allergy. Never consider that, did you, Akbar, you self-centered son of a bitch?
Your tongues can't repel flavor of that magnitude.
We then get some shots of the weapons, which I'll just tell you now are called World Devastators, yeah, real original, consuming the planet and everything on it, to which it's made clear the weapons actually have factories and furnaces inside of them that take the absorbed matter and turn it into Imperial weapons. We get Akbar all worked up about his homeworld getting eaten, along with his people, by these machines, to the point where he declares them worse than the Death Star, which I suppose you can make that argument, but really they're eating his world and people. Admittedly, I mean, yeah, that's bad, but, it's not blowing the planet to utter oblivion. So, Akbar, stop being so melodramatic. But a plan is formed to send in some rebel squadrons to protect an evacuation fleet for the Mon Calamari to be moved to Dasucha itself, which, as stated previously, the pinnacle moon, or the fifth moon of Dasucha, is orbiting, obviously. Akbar wants to send Lando and Wedge on more captured Star Destroyers along with the fleet, but Lando's a bit apprehensive after what just happened, and wants Han to go instead, but Han says that his hands are full briefing new fighter teams joining the Rebel Alliance. The council is then just ended, I guess, and Han begins musing about how he and Leia have had barely any time to themselves since Mon Mothma married them, which played a part in him deciding to brief the new pilots rather than go with Lando. Yes, this is why I read Star Wars, for these two and their dumbass romance. Gag me with a spoon, but moving on. Leia mentions that something awful is happening to Luke, as she says she can still sense him and that he's alive. Once again, the great friend Han says Luke doesn't want any help, so they should just leave it. Besides, he wants some alone time with Leia. Wow, I can see why he's one of the most beloved characters of Star Wars. Stare in awe as one of our dear heroes abandons his friend for the mere thought of Nookie.
But they're gonna kill her!
Better her than me.
Leia gives him the death stare of doom, apparently, and Chewbacca also adds in something unintelligible, while Han again makes an excuse that he isn't one to question a Jedi's judgment, referring to Luke's decision to stay on Coruscant. Then the narration box just out of nowhere goes, "And what of Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight?" As we cut to Luke aboard the ship that the Force Storm dropped him onto, apparently with R2, I guess. They can't see much, and oddly Luke mirrors Leia's weird eye move from before. Symbolism, I guess. But either way, we get told that they're being kept in by Mandalorian walls. Luke says he's aboard an Imperial dungeon ship, like the ones used on Jedi Knights during the Clone Wars. Yeah. So you can see another head-turning idea made on the part of Veitch and crew that really doesn't jive with the canon we know for Legends, or even the new canon for that matter. I mean, why would there be an Imperial dungeon ship used on Jedi Knights during the Clone Wars? I mean, Episode 4 even implies that the Republic was around for a while with the Jedi Knights, so does this imply that the Jedi were essentially a part of the Empire, and then the Empire turned on the Knights? See, it's unclear. It doesn't really work all that well, but, you know, it's just a small canon error you can easily ignore, so let's keep going. We then see a rather cool shot, in my opinion, of the planet Biss. Orbiting around it is a very large and haphazard array of naval vessels of the Empire, including the dungeon ship that Luke is aboard. Luke comments that he can sense the darkness on the planet, and if ever there was a dark center of the universe, this would be it. Though him saying the whole universe is a little bit... I don't know how accurate it would be to say one planet of the entire universe is the dark center of it all, but whatever. The ship lands planetside, and some goons come to pick Luke off of it with an energy cage, apparently, built for trapping Jedi. Because, you know, using these before now would have just been stupid. Either way, he's carried through the streets of a strange but beautiful city, and brought before a citadel where he senses mocking dark laughter, and his hidden dark side adversary is near. The goons order him out of the cage with blasters, and Luke proceeds to summon his own powers and the Force to stave off the dark side and unleash a blast of energy against the goons, declaring, "I'm here because I chose to be." Yes, I chose to be sucked into a space tornado and spat back into a dungeon ship and carried through the streets of your city like a trophy. Choices. Funnily enough, the two he tossed get up as he leaves and mock him for saying free choice. They say they're going to let him walk to his own doom, with one of them shadowing him but not engaging. Luke then marches on into the Citadel, coming to a throne room with a person on a throne. "Excellent. Excellent. You have come to me of your own free will. Good. I say in the worst Palpatine voice ever." Yeah, it's Palpatine. What did you think? So Luke says he somehow knew it was him. Palpatine says, "Yes, you knew it was me, for you've grown powerful in the Force, but so have I," even though he's already been powerful in the Force. Luke says he watched him die, and Palps lies out his ass and says it wasn't the first time he died, but I'll go ahead and inform you all that this was retconned later on, because obviously this came out before the prequels, so no one knew what the hell was going on in terms of Anakin, Palpatine, so whatever. It was retconned later on by an off-statement made by either Lumia or Mara Jade, I can't remember, that basically the clones were insane, though they are Palpatine's essence. He lost his mind when his actual body died on Death Star 2. Some people say that, oh, he just meant that, no, this wasn't the first body in terms of clones. But this is this was obviously a statement meant to show that, no, Palpatine had apparently died before, and Darth Vader just killed him for no fucking reason on the Death Star 2, because, hey, he'll just come back again. But it was retconned. That was him. That was his body. That was the first time he died. Palpatine goes on to say that flesh does not easily support his dark power, and he needs clothes to survive, and he's not the man that he once was anymore. Yeah, well, obviously. To which Luke says, "Then it's true!" I don't know what's true, but it's true, apparently. We keep going with Palpatine's clone, going on about how death and transition is not without pain, but as energy he is formless and immortal all the same. And then he begins the shtick we're used to of goading Luke to join him. "And now, my young apprentice, your father is dead. Have you come to join me? Will you take the place that rightfully belongs to you at my side?"
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
I'm sorry, I love the voice. I'm sorry, I love it. I can't help it. Apparently, the Emperor senses hesitation on Luke's part. Don't know why, since, Luke should be used to this. So he shows him the World Devastators, and the narration box says he tempts him with the very temptation that ensnared his father by placing the weapons at his disposal. "Yes, Anakin, join me, and I will give you world-eating machines to command." You're not gonna help me save my wife? Oh, right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do that too. You see now why there's some serious canon problems with Dark Empire. We'll keep going, but, that's just obvious obvious evidence why some people do not like this comic right there. Palpatine goes on saying he gave the rebels time to take over the galaxy, but they failed, and to be fair, they did. So now he's working to take it back himself with weapons as yet unseen. R2 offers Luke his saber in an honestly comical and yet kind of cute manner. Yes, I can say cute, I'm not ashamed. Again, it's Luke's destiny to replace his father and to enact the Emperor's will on the rebelling worlds. Luke mulls over killing the Emperor to save lives. The Emperor says he'll just come back, maybe even in Luke's body. Though, as we'll see later on, that's not really how it works. So he's just lying. Of course he is. When suddenly the Emperor changes his tune and realizes Luke is no longer at odds with his anger and not so easily goaded because, he's gotten older and he's gotten wiser and he's gotten more powerful, whatever. So he offers to train him in the dark side to allow him to conquer him, to defeat the Emperor. And of course, despite all the other crap Luke has gone through, he now believes he can defeat the dark side from within. He drops his saber and joins the Emperor because it's the first time the dark side has ever spoken truth. So he kneels and joins the Emperor, taking his father's destiny as his own. The Emperor is pleased, and R2, like many of us, is confused. Cut back to Leia and Han at Pinnacle Base, and as will always be for these two, Leia says she shouldn't have listened to Han. Apparently, Leia's been holed up in a room alone for days, and Han acts like an idiot and tells her to come out and see the galaxy pulling together against the Empire. Again, as more fighters have apparently arrived. She says she hears laughter and something terrible has happened. Han, again, mind you, this is like the 4th time, says Luke's a big boy and can handle himself, to which Leia finally tells him to shut up and to see that he needs help, in particular hers. Han dumbly says, "Ah, I see." See what? You're an idiot? I know this is meant to show him being just kind of like, "Oh, I guess, if you say so, Leia," but oh, Jesus Christ. And of course he says he has a bad feeling about this because Star Wars would not be normal if someone didn't say they had a bad feeling about us and if there wasn't a text crawl.
What are you looking at? I know what I'm doing.
Then Leia just oddly throws herself into his arms saying, "Oh, Han," and makes a Jedi princess joke about marriage and how it's not easy. Oh, joyous day, get me out of here. I miss Palpatine. Han tells Chewie to fuel up the Falcon, saying they have a date with the dark side, and there we end issue 2. Alright, so let's be fair. Back in the day, seeing Palpatine return might have been very, very interesting and, attractive to some people. Because you gotta remember, this came out before the prequels were a thing. News about the prequels were probably coming out, but it wasn't really tangible what was going to happen. People wanted to know more about the Emperor, and all the extended universe stuff that we had, expanded, whatever, universe stuff that we had on Palpatine up to that point was very vague. He had hidden shit here, he had evil stuff going on over there, he made Vader do this, he was always behind the scenes, and we didn't really have much character development with him. So, when you see him come just out of the blue back here, it is kind of shocking. If you look at it from a never before really saw the expanded universe before, read any material, or if you have back then and you really did not expect to see this happen, and you just saw Palpatine, you're like, holy shit, he didn't kill the Emperor, he's still here? Oh, he's a clone. Oh, he's a clone who's actually the Emperor. So, I could see how it's interesting, but now that we're here in this, fully formed Legends expanded universe stage, we already know so much about the Emperor. We know all this stuff that happens. It brings up dungeon ships that held Jedi. It brings up energy caves that can capture Jedi like a goddamn bear trap for bears. The World Devastators, while a cool concept, only, like many things, just appear here and feel like wasted material at the end of the day. You got Han acting like the biggest fucking idiot on the face of the fucking galaxy. I'm sorry if I curse a lot, by the way. It's just how I speak. But holy God, someone needs to punch Han. I do not like Han Solo as a character, okay? I love Harrison Ford, I'll admit that. But you know what? I tolerate Han because people love him and he's an integral part of the universe. But my God, when he acts like such an idiot, where he's like, "Oh fuck, Luke can handle himself, Leia. Let's be together ourselves, and let's do all this stupid shit, and let's obviously have some very vague references to the fact that he hasn't had any alone time with her." Ugh! And you just want to strangle him because you're like, "You son of a bitch, your best friend, Lando not included, is off somewhere. His sister, who can feel his connection to the Force, says he's in trouble, and you're just like, no, fuck it, because I don't want to do anything right now." Oh, it's irritating. It's very irritating. I mean, other than that, really, there's no real, like, character development if you're looking for that in a comic. I mean, Akbar is Akbar, Mon Mothma's Mon Mothma. You see Crix Madine and Dodana for a second, and then they're gone. You see Dak, or Mon Calamari, if that's how you prefer to call it, being eaten by the World Devastators. This hackneyed plan to transmit all the Mon Calamari to Dasucha, which is another water world. I don't know if I mentioned that, probably not. Is just drummed up because, you know, the plot has to move, okay? The Emperor, once again, just kind of being like, oh, everything is going according to my design. It's like, really?
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
So you're saying everything, including the Death Star 2, it's just, everything's going as you planned?
Yes.
Okay. Admittedly, him saying that he allowed the rebels time to retake the galaxy, but then he saw that without actual Jedi Knights helping them and their army besides just Luke, it wasn't going to happen. I found that to be actually kind of funny, because I have always contended that the Rebel Alliance and the New Republic, especially the New Republic military, which at this point they're supposed to be the New Republic, the New Republic military is such garbage. They don't get anything done. The Rebels got more done, even though they're the same military force. The New Republic sucks at everything having to do with the military. And Palpatine just being like, man, you guys suck. I'm just going to take over the galaxy myself. Screw this. It feels normal to me. It's just like, yeah, I can see that happening. I can see Palpatine saying, fuck this. This is taking too long. You guys suck. The Imperial remnants, even at a current state of civil war, are holding the New Republic back. Even though they're killing each other, they're holding them off and taking over parts of the galaxy. Some of it you can say it's because Palpatine is making his move again, but that, obviously, his old leading council is being hunted down and murdered for a reason. So even while they're in this state of killing each other, they're still beating the Rebels / New Republic. So, that's an interesting aspect that I personally find interesting. All in all, just real quick, the artwork, again, oddly enough, Palpatine looked the most like he did in the movies, but, I mean, Ian McDiarmid was just covered in makeup and, the masks, and to make him look like an old man back then. So it wasn't really hard to draw him again, but they did a good job with Palpatine's look and face. But again, everyone else doesn't really look like the actor or actress that they're meant to portray, except maybe, Akbar and Mon Mothma, but who the fuck cares about Mon Mothma and Akbar? Or, okay, I care about Akbar, but Mon Mothma's just like, okay, I guess you're a main character to me. That's just me. And then all the weird stuff with, like, yeah, I'm going to sway Luke to join me by tempting him with the same shit I tempted Anakin with. It's like, you tempted Anakin by giving him world-eating machines?
Yes.
I know it's meant to imply power, but now that we know that's not the case, it's a little like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, you could make the argument in hindsight that he was just offering Luke power, and that's what he was offering, and that's what he offered Anakin, power to save Padme. But still, they didn't know what was going on. They just came up with something on the fly and expected it to work. So yeah, I mean, again, keep going. Obviously, we're still gonna keep going, but really, here's where things are starting to get a little like wonky. Like, the first issue wasn't anything terrible. It wasn't bad. I liked it, and I like this one too. But here is where things are starting to go like, what? What is all this crap? What do you mean dungeon ships? What do you mean energy cages? Why are you such a prick, Han? But anyway. So yeah. So that was Dark Empire 1, Issue 2. Tell me what you all thought. The three of you, apparently, who comment. We'll keep going. I'll have another one up soon, hopefully, by the time this gets up. And hopefully this video is a lot better than my first one, because my first one was a little... I was back in my discomfort zone of being a little, I should say, embarrassed, maybe a bit reserved. But I'm getting a little more loose. And I'll probably do the Palpatine voice again, just because I love doing the Palpatine voice. I know it sucks. I know it probably grates your ears, but I can't help myself. But anyway, next review will come out soon. Hopefully more people will watch and comment. Until then, I'm Carl. Not my name, but you can call me it. Until then, peace.